Give me a sign, guys.
Here we
Let me
go.
get
Let
in
me
on this car.
get you
Good job.
over. Bear with me. I'm so sorry.
Take your time.
Here we go.
Gotcha, brother.
This Instagram story.
Mhm.
Oh, MTA, more trouble ahead. MTA, more trouble ahead. MTA, more trouble ahead.
All right, Charlton, get in the photo.
So the
Wait.
reason why we're having this rally.
I just came
look
over
who
to say
joined
hello.
us. Hey, how you been? Good to see you.
Sir, how are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So
See
the
you later.
reason why we're here today
I know
is
you.
because the MTA, we heard they got orders not to call us and not to respond to us.
Oh. Well, I've never heard those orders or given the orders, so
I know it's not you, it's higher ups. So we wanted to form a working group. That hasn't happened, and that needs to happen.
for what?
We need a working group to work with you guys.
I like your
To
hat, by the way. Is that
respond
new?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a hat too. Service outages. You know, when there's service outages in the subway on the weekends and the geos are messed
Yes.
up, we get a lot of complaints on Twitter. We're working, throughout the weekend.
Have you
responding
talked to
complaints.
Jose LaSalle, our weekend czar? I was out with him just 2 weekends ago. And
I
were
haven't been
tightening up
introduced to him.
I'll make that happen.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're
Okay, appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Good man.
See you guys later, okay?
Okay,
See you
good
later.
man. President of New York City Transit. Right there. All right. So guys, it's very important that we have this rally today. And I'm sorry, let me take my mask off. I'm sorry, brother. I'm just in COVID mind. Nice to meet all of you. And the reason why we're here today is because so many Long Island Railroad riders have faced discrimination from the MTA. And look at the bus redesigns. Look at how messed up the bus redesigns are. Communities are being left out. People are being discriminated. And what I'm concerned about is this agency now, any day now, is going to get the federal approval to approve congestion pricing. If they cannot even get the bus redesigns right and the other stuff right, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with this agency? That's what I'm worried about, because congestion pricing is going to hurt communities. It's going to hurt poor communities. It's going to hurt people, and it's you cannot just tell people to go below 60th Street that you have to pay a fee. That is wrong. I'm sorry, but we do support congestion pricing on the East River bridges. We feel that's fair. But guys, the MTA is the 7th largest debitor in the United States. 7th largest debitor. Let's think about that for a minute. Why are we throwing more money at an agency when they don't have accountability? Excuse me, guys. So that is the problem. That is the problem. And a lot of the riders who ride the MTA support us. They believe in us. And the reason why we have so little people here today is because the MTA has started a suppression campaign to damage our organization. And I'm going to tell you now, we have a lot of support out there. A lot of the first responders support us. A lot of our MTA employees support us. When the station agents' jobs were being eliminated, and that whole thing. First of all, I said station agents, I supported them, but the union sold them out by taking them out of the boat. That was the dumbest thing they could have done, because guess what happened last night? Last night, there was a shooting on the G line in front of a station agent booth. Think about that. A passenger was shot lying on the ground in front of a station agent booth. What does that say about our security in the MTA system? So Riders Alliance, Transportation Alternatives, all these corrupt organizations, they can continue to destroy us, but guess what? We're going to fight back bigger and harder, and we are going to bounce back. And believe me, I haven't even gotten started with them yet. Okay? I let them screw us over, keep screwing us over. And you know what? Their day of reckoning is coming. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to put it out here. Because I live in Southeast Queens. We're all volunteers. Jack's a volunteer. David has been coming to these meetings for the last 20 years, as well as me. Yuki Endo, he's a dedicated volunteer. And what's sad is, Riders Alliance was trying to bribe him with Metro cards and soda to get him to join the organization. That's how desperate they are. But Yuki is a good person, right? He believes in Passengers United, and we all do. So let Jim Minton, the press secretary at the MTA, play his games. Let management screw us over. It's okay. because their day of reckoning is coming. One, with the lawsuit, and we already have a petition that 300 people have signed. 300 people have signed. Think about that. And it's only growing. It may even be up to 307 now. So, yeah, to all the elected officials out there, Kathy Hochul, yeah, keep screwing us over, Kathy Hochul. You're going to have an election coming up soon, and you're going to be voted out of office. And for me personally, you know, I didn't even support Kathy Hochul. I can't stand her. I'll just say that. But I didn't vote Republican either. Okay, I wrote in my own name in the election. And you know what? New Yorkers are getting fed up of the crime. You know, they're getting fed up of all the BS. So people in the city are fed up, and we're going to keep protesting. So come on, guys, hands off our bus stops. Hands off our bus stops.
One thing I do want to say is that I've seen all the injustices that are going on in the outer boroughs, in the areas of Long Island that are mostly being served by lower income, more diverse communities. It is absolutely unacceptable that the MTA has not accommodated their needs, especially with the new schedule changes, the bus network redesigns. It is absolutely appalling that they're telling people when they eliminate their bus stops just to walk farther. There are people in these communities that are being ignored by them who can't walk. How can you tell these people to walk farther when they can't walk? It is absolutely reprehensible. It is disrespectful. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And
Hold
it is
that sign up high,
discriminatory.
sister. Hold that sign up high. Come on. Here we go.
The discrimination needs to end. This has been going on for way too long. We are fed up with it. We will not be silenced. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We will not tolerate this discrimination anymore. People are suffering.
More trouble ahead.
These are all people who have historically been ignored and continue to be ignored because they don't have the same political power that wealthy white people do in this city. And it needs to end today. We are sick and tired of it. And of course, we see these other organizations, as Charlton said, Rise Alliance Transportation Alternatives, they want to talk about sustainability. They don't know anything about sustainability.
You know nothing about bus.
Exactly. They know nothing about our communities because they're not from our communities. And they're acting like they know everything. They're telling us what we need. This is not what we need. It actually harms everyone. They're increasing the wealth gap in this city. It is unacceptable. I'm going to be repeating that over and over again. That they're silencing local community organizers. We've been seeing this on an ongoing basis. We're fed up with it. New Yorkers do not want congestion pricing because they know they're going to be screwed in the process, because they're not going to be getting effective alternate transportation that's accessible for everyone. And especially with the redesigns going on and the schedule changes, Brooklyn is being screwed over. Queens is being screwed over. The Bronx was already screwed over. Same thing with Staten Island. So how can we trust the MTA to put congestion pricing in when ultimately that's just going to be another barrier for those who are the most vulnerable out of the city? We're sick and tired of it.
We have Joe. What's your name, ma'am?
Janice.
Janice. Zumana.
Yeah.
Janice and Zumana. Shamana. Shamara. I'm sorry.
It's okay,
Please
no
excuse
worries.
me. So, the LIRR, you know, a lady who was pregnant had a miscarriage and fell on the steps because of the LIRR's incompetency. We're now 9 weeks into the shuttle service. 9 weeks. And look at the commuters and the communities that are being affected. So come on, let's put that sign up high. LIRR, Atlantic Terminal Train, Spain, restore direct service. Hands off our bus stops. Save our LIRR service. Come on, guys, let's go.
We're sick and tired of this. And This is what I'm going to say to all the MTA officials at the very top who have continuously ignored us. Fix it now or just get out.
That's right. Right.
We're sick and tired of this.
So yeah. Yo, let me ask you a question. What's up with last time we was here? The last time you was here. Wait,
So the last time we were here, we were at the very front of the line. We were the first people to enter the building and register to speak. They shoved us all the way to the back. There were 3 or 4 people from Riders Alliance who were bumped ahead of me, and I couldn't speak live. I was shoved back to a what they call an overflow section, where I had to record my comments, and there's no guarantee that the board's going to watch them. So all the while, all 4 of them got to speak ahead of me, and they arrived after me. And I sent a complaint in to the MTA, a formal complaint. On March 31st, I got 0 response from them. I sent a follow-up, no response. So we know that there's something going on, because with a formal complaint like this, they're lucky I haven't done anything further yet.
We're protesting too.
So I heard that she didn't come. It's her first time in like what 6 years she went to that meeting. Like Riders Alliance, this is their first time ever that meeting.
It's the first time they've ever gone to a board meeting.
So do you think? I don't know. Let's not be conspiracy here. Do you think that that was coordinated to make sure that you and Shalta are not in the same room as her because she don't feel comfortable around you guys, or?
Look, I can't say for sure what was actually going on by them, but I've been hearing that based on what's been going on, the fact that they have been that they've been shoving me to the sideline before, I could tell there was something going on. And Lisa Dagley, the executive director of the PCAC, who we want out, she's been no good. She's been harmful to all of these people who have been suffering, and she's been catering to these lobbying groups that continue to further their plutocratic agendas at our expense. And she let them in. They didn't even go through security.
That's right, which is disgusting. And I'm fed up of it because the racism is so bad. I've been coming to these meetings for the last 20 years. I've never seen it this bad. Jano Lieber has lost control of this agency. And the problem is people are taking advantage of him. But then again, it's the politicians. They've allowed this agency. Look at what happened to the pregnant lady who fell down the stairs at Atlantic Terminal. That is horrible. And then there was another person who fell down a few days ago. It's unacceptable.
I almost fell twice, okay, trying to run to catch a train. It is such an inconvenience, okay? And I'm tired of running up and down an extra 2 flights of steps, so total about 130 steps a day. Because they decided to make the Brooklyn station go into Grand Central. So we don't have no direct trains going to Atlantic Terminal. And it is an inconvenience. They accommodated every other person in every other line except for Atlantic Terminal.
It is unacceptable. Look at these neighborhoods who are going to be suffering. They're already disadvantaged. We want to talk about sustainable development. This works against anything regarding sustainable development, because the most vulnerable communities, the ones who are already marginalized, are being harmed in the process. And you know what's really reprehensible? The fact that they have eliminated time transfers at Jamaica. So if there's something wrong with the Brooklyn branch, and there has been plenty of incidents already, you could end up missing the last train of the day.
I'm sorry. I'm just piggybacking on. You're not putting that on the news. Exactly what you said. People are falling. They're losing time.
Yeah.
You can't catch next. I'm just backing you up. I'm sorry. So go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, sister. We want to give you opportunity to talk. Yeah.
But the news is not catching this.
Well, one thing I will say, Passengers United was the first organization. I'm very proud of what we did. We actually did make Channel 2 1st, before the LIR schedule changes came into effect, I was at the committee meeting and the board meeting. Ask Jack.
Yes.
We
were there.
predicted what trains would be a mess on the shuttle. When we saw the schedules and we saw there was only 3 or 4 trains between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. from Jamaica to Atlantic Terminal, I knew this was going to be a complete shit show, is what I said to the MT. Those were my exact words. And guess what? They ended up adding 5 more trains. And it's still bad. And the worst part of it is people are being discriminated because they're not running new trains. They're running the old M3, the Colin Ferguson trains with bullet holes in them. When you go to the restroom, there's holes in the restroom. Those were the trains where the guy shot up all those people. And let me tell you, it is really sad what is going on. And I feel that we need to take aggressive action against the railroad. It's been 9 weeks. Long Island Railroad riders, they pay close to $60 for the Atlantic Weekly. There are people who are paying, $200 and $43. Right. Before the MetroCard kicks in, you have to pay for that another $127. People are fed up, and this agency has ignored us. It's ignored the railroad riders. In fact, Tim Minton, who works at the MT, has given them an order, all the executives, all the staff members an order not to respond to my phone calls. How dare he disrespect me like that? How dare management disrespect me like that? And I've already warned them. Me and Jack were looking at legal papers yesterday. We have an attorney in mind, the same attorney who sued the MT for the 2 sets of books about 15 or 16 years ago is very interested in this case. And let me tell you, if that lawsuit happens, I bet you we'll have a lot of people signing on to that class action lawsuit.
I didn't catch your last comment before. Would you say
Yeah, I'm
that?
sorry. My name is Charlton Souza. I'm the president of Passengers United. And what media outlet are you from, or?
Independent.
Oh, independent. Nice to meet you,
nice
sir.
To meet you.
So this is the situation that's going on in the subways, and the reason why we're so concerned.
You just talked about MTA leadership. What did you say about the
So the MTA leadership and Tim Minton and the people who work there have ordered staff members not to respond to our calls or our inquiries. Do you know how many customers we help and how many passengers we help? And even though I'm working right now for Passengers United, we are all volunteers. I need to stress that to the public. We don't make a dime. In fact, I've lost money running Passengers United. We do a better job than the freaking paid organizations out there, like Riders Alliance, Transportation Alternatives. Betsy Plum has never been to a board meeting, never been until last month. She finally showed up. And what happened? They gave her the red carpet treatment. They let us get through security, and it gets even better. She was actually put on a baby stroller committee, and we were saying, wait a minute, we attend all the meetings. How can she be put on a baby stroller committee? She screwed that up because they didn't consult with the union members, and now you have baby strollers. There was a fight in the Bronx with 5 people over a baby stroller because it was blocking the aisles. But the main reason why we're here is because these passengers, and I ride the Atlantic branch too, when the $60 discount for Atlantic Terminal got introduced, I was at the committee meeting, I was at the board meeting when it got voted on. But the problem is, people are saying to me who live in Southeast Queens and Nassau County, why should we pay $60 for a weekly Atlantic pass when we can pay $33 and just get to work a little faster? They are trying to kill the Atlantic Terminal service, and it is going to devastate the community, and it already has. And if you look at the service at Queens Village, Hollis, and don't even get me started on Hollis. Hollis has been an epic disaster. So about 2 years ago, I did a tour with the city comptroller, who was, what was the city comptroller?
Scott Stringer?
Scott Stringer. So Scott Stringer sent his staff members over to Hollis. He spent about 2 hours with them. And guess what? We almost fell down because there was a hole in the wood. We, at every committee meeting and board meeting, we have begged the MTA to completely rebuild the Hollis station in Southeast Queens, which is in Senators Leroy Comrie's district and Assemblyman Clyde Vinnell's district and Natasha Williams' district for the city council. None of them have even bothered to act up on this. We went to Albany. We were there all day in February, begging them, get the station rebuilt. The MTA was asking for the money. Never came through. But then again, they had time and effort to go to UBS Arena and get that station done for the wealthy people. So I want to say we have 3 petitions. One for the Brooklyn bus redesign. We have a petition for the Long Island Railroad Atlantic Terminal Service, which over 300 people have signed on to. We also have another petition for the Greenport line.
Yeah, so what happened with the Greenport line, the last train of the day that you can get on weekdays, it used to be at 5:41 p.m. from Penn Station. Now it's at 5:04 p.m., almost 40 minutes earlier. I can't make that train anymore. I've been getting complaints that people couldn't take that train anymore, and they were screwed because that was the last train of the day. You only see 2 or 3 trains per day on that line. So I was pleading with them back in June when they released the draft schedules. Push this train back. People need to make that train, and what I fear with this is they're just going to use that. They're going to see the lower ridership, and they're going to use that as an excuse to just get rid of the train entirely because it's going to save money. No, you screwed this up. Fix it.
So I want to know, where's the other guy at? Where's your partner? If he's liberty to speak, I want to know what's up with the whole bribery situation. Betsy Plum tried to bribe him with Metro cards and merchandise.
So
Let's
what
explain that.
happened was Yuki is one of our loyal members, Yuki Ando, okay? And Yuki, we love him. We love Yuki Ando. So Yuki likes to, come. You know how Yuki is. When he comes to places, he'll go into people's fridges, open the fridge. He didn't mean to do it, right? And drink a soda. But I was appalled that they were just trying to get him to join. He had a shirt, and they were giving him Metro cards. And, and they have boxes of Metro cards. I don't know, and I was told they're getting them for a discount to give out to volunteers. But it just goes to show you how low they can go, that they would try to suppress our organization. But it doesn't surprise me, because look what happened at the congestion pricing rally when we were there. And another thing I want to point out, so we understand the MTA has budget and financial problems, right? Okay, congestion pricing, you only get it on the East River bridges, that's it. But to have people from Southeast Queens who are driving in below 16th Street to pay congestion pricing, no, hell no. Because what is Nassau County and Southeast Queens getting? What is the Bronx getting? Nothing. They're getting nothing from congestion pricing. In fact, the Queens Boulevard line, which has the newest signals, communication-based train control, you know what the new MTA lingo is? Network communication problems. That's the new lingo. Brand new signal system, breaking down, leaving people stranded. And that's why everyone has to get on the railroad, because the E and F trains are so bad. This is the situation. So Yuki, Yuki, tell us how you feel. You want to say something? I'm sorry, Yuki, about what happened, or?
On that, every second, on every second, I was on my way to the race Olympia, vegan and sanctuary for the vegan event. Because the 17 had the broken trouble at the Bend of Boulevard, Jackson Avenue. I had to run to the Long Beach train at the Grand Central, and I decided to get on the Long Beach train over the Hampton train because I didn't want to miss that London train to Bayshore for the South County bus.
So Charlton or Jack, I want to know what you feel about transportation not Riders Lines being ran by lobbyist employees. I did some research with on the website, and remember the guy that was harassing you guys at the concession price, the
Yes.
first guy.
Yeah.
He's actually an employee of transportation. He's actually an employee of Riders Lines. He's actually a lobbyist employee.
Yeah.
To be exact. So how do you feel about how the MTA is influenced by lobbyist organizations like Riders Lines?
It's despicable what they're doing. And I wanted to branch off of what you were saying. All of the communities that are really being disproportionately affected by all of the MTA's initiatives are lower income, more ethnically diverse communities who do not have adequate transportation access. They do not have all the luxuries that the people from Riders Alliance and Transportation Alternatives do. And I want to make one thing clear. The head of, or one of the top people running Transportation Alternatives, the same guy behind Streets Blog, Open Plans, etc., etc. His name is Mark Gordon. He's a venture capitalist, and he owns, and first of all, Transportation Alternatives gets hundreds of thousands of dollars from, guess which ones? Uber and Lyft. Guess how many shares of Uber and Lyft Mark Gordon, the venture capitalist behind it, has? Over 38,800. Of Uber shares, 1,000 Lyft shares. It might be more, it might be slightly less. Those numbers were fairly recent. What's his goal, and he's pushing his extreme ideology that, of course, everyone who drives is evil. When clearly there are people out there, and he's from the bike lobby. Remember, he's the one with Transportation Alternatives. They're the reason why they don't enforce bicycle laws in New York City. That's why it's become so dangerous. And look, I'm a bike rider, and I know that with some regulation, it'll actually benefit everyone. But I want to get to the point. The fact that he has so much influence over the MTA and all these elected officials is really screwing everyone else over, because based on my observations, they don't want us in the picture. They don't want all of these communities that are not profitable in the picture for them.
So I need to say something. I've been coming to these meetings since, God almighty, like 2003, 2004. Everyone knows me at the MTA. And I will say one thing. I've never seen none of these organizations there. I know when we were trying to save the Q110 bus during the 2008 budget cuts, when this agency was really in a bad situation, I didn't see any of these people around. So I'm not going to take any shit from any of these people, okay, because they're a certain demographic or they're a certain skin color. I'll just put it at that. But I will say one thing, okay? All of us have been trying to save the railroad, right? What did Riders Alliance do on Twitter? They criticized us for helping people
Yes.
at the Long Island Railroad. They criticized
We were
Jack.
on the front lines. The fact that I made it on CBS once at Jamaica Station when I was helping people. They need to thicken their skin. I'm fed up with it. I don't do that to them.
Yeah. So what
They
you
should not do that
Yeah,
to
so
us.
what you think about Betsy Plum? You know, I heard the last president was okay, but now she's in. I think the organization is a little worse than it is right now.
Listen,
Do you think it's her arrogance, or she have her
Oh,
own
you want
little?
to talk about arrogance and discrimination? I was in my own neighborhood. She came up to me and told me this is a private event on a city sidewalk. Who the hell is she to tell me and to tell anyone to leave? No, screw her. See, the problem is people in our community, we don't speak up. And that's why we need to get in these people's faces. Because the racism, these people think they can talk to us anyway. And Jack knows, I've
Yeah.
got a racist bone in my body. Jack has been really good to us. But Jack is seeing the bullshit that goes on. He's learning. It's
Yeah,
better than...
the reason
yeah.
why I joined Passengers United is because I saw all of the injustices that were going on. Remember, back in March of 2021, when the Long Island Railroad drastically cut service without any explanation, Passengers United was the one who got this service back. And I know, as an affected railroad rider, this spoke to me. I've been seeing all the injustices that have been going on in this country, in this world, and this is something that I could not ignore. And I do want to say another thing. Betsy Plum and Riders Alliance, they think they're above everyone else. And especially the others over there, I'm not going to list their names because to me they deserve no recognition.
Oh, Lisa Daglin from the PCC. I can't stand her.
I mean, the heavyset lady? Is she African
We call
American?
her the Wicked Witch of the West.
African American heavyset lady, right?
Yeah, she has the glasses on.
No,
It's okay,
she's
sister.
the-
It's all right. It's okay.
She's from the PCAC.
What's the
she's,
PCA? What's the
older-
PCAC?
Permanent Citizens Advisory Council.
Oh, okay.
That woman, when I spoke to her about the Hollis Station 2 years ago and I invited her to an event, she had the audacity to tell me, oh, there's no racism at the MTA. No, screw you. I've been coming to these meetings for the last few years. Let me tell, like I told 1010 Wins today, I'm done with the crap. Now they're gonna start having problems at the MTA now. Because we haven't even started our plan. Like I told Jack was like, release the video, release the stats, release this. I said, I'm not releasing anything. Let them screw us over real good. Let them take us all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to open up a can of worms and start exposing all these people. And for months, I've been doing research on people. I have a whole bunch of data on Riders Alliance. They're getting money. The Mark Horton, who gives them money, owns shares of Uber.
Yeah, as I said, 38,800 Uber shares, 1,000 Lyft shares. Who owns City Bike? Lyft does. This is profitable for him, so he's profiting at our expense. And that is reprehensible. And I do want to add one thing. How dare these people who know nothing about our communities gaslight the public about all of these issues, congestion pricing, the bus network redesigns, and their false promises. Look, 6 minutes service.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest con job. And you know what's crazy? Riders Alliance and Transportation Alternatives is saying give the MT congestion price and give them money. And people are looking at us and they're saying, wait a minute, you guys are Passengers United. Why are y'all not fully supporting congestion pricing? I'll tell you why. $7 billion, 7th largest debtor in the United States is the MTA. Okay? Look at Grand Central. What was it? $11 billion years late. They treat their own employees like shit. Okay? Look at what happened to Progressive Action. The brother, Tremel Thompson. I love him. You know, we all have issues. I don't agree with everything Tremel says, but I'll say this. His own union, vice president of Subways, beat him up and broke his leg in an employee room because he was trying to organize the employees about working conditions in New York City Transit. That tells you everything you need to know about this corrupt agency, MTA. And even though we talk with these people and we deal with them from day to day, I told people in that building, I'm not here to make friends with anyone. I'm here to get the fucking job done, quote unquote. Because that's why things are so screwed up at the MTA. You have people, there's the chairman. Hey, come on guys, let's go. Yeah, come on MTA chairman. What are you ignoring us for? Talk to us about the bus designs, Jano. Come on, Jano. Why did you tell people at the MTA to ignore us and not respond to our phone calls? Come on, Jano. Come on, Jano. That happens to us, Jano. That's not fair, Jano. It's not fair. We do a lot of
The team bus line is going to go into effect this summer, right? I hope.
We have to get the final done.
When are you going to do that?
Like a couple months. Everybody's, we give a long process so everybody has a chance to.
And I wrote a letter to Chuck Edmonton to ask you to give me a pass, put me on the board. If you could do it, I can give you this today.
You're right.
I can give you the same thing when I'm here. I think I'm here. Take care. Go.
Please, come. This is what we get.
You see? Okay, guys, let's go across the street.
We're not important people.
Yeah. You know the MTPD will take with her. Yeah. You see, they come running out. But it's a fact, guys. You see how they treat us? This is how they treat us, guys. Don't worry, I have an email in his business card. Yeah, I've called him on a cell phone before. But
one thing I do want to say We're not here to make the MTA look good. We're here to tell them what to do so that they naturally look good because they're doing good.
We're here to tell the facts.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not here to gaslight people.
And even though those cops across the street are working today because that's their job, the police know when 11 people got murdered in the subway, even before those 11 people could get murdered, I was at crime scenes. I was on the news predicting what would happen in the subway. The reason why everyone's taking the railroad is because that's their lifeline. People are scared to get on these subways. I've been assaulted 3 times. I've been punched in the face and alcohol thrown on me. I've seen men masturbate in front of women. I've seen women getting attacked. Their own workers are being attacked.
That's right.
Okay?
Yep. Every day.
Every day,
Every
MT
day.
workers are getting attacked. The system is not safe for people. It's not safe. And they don't care. You see how Jano ran inside? Jano is following Kathy Hogel's lead. He's not being
Again.
a chairman.
Here you go. The governor needs to change a lot of things. She's not doing her job, okay?
Yeah.
She's not doing her job. From what I heard, the original plans was Grand Central was supposed to be the shuttle. She interrupted everything, and now this is why we're here.
Yeah.
But
And
also the fact that they, when they released the draft schedules in June, they said that there was going to be adequate community feedback. What did they do? Absolutely nothing. All they did was add like 2 or 3 Express Port Washington trains. But all of the issues that really mattered to commuters, we were all brushed off. And then when the full schedules came into effect, we were expecting an improvement. I made one very simple request: push the Greenport train back. They couldn't even do that. And now everyone's being screwed. And they know this. They're not going to admit it publicly, but they know they screwed up.
but also Penn Station customers. But the worst of the worst is the Atlantic because they're being charged
We
the
are
same
running a
fares.
marathon every morning.
Morning.
We are going from track 2 to track 11 or 12 to catch a train. We are sometimes sitting at the station. There's already a train waiting there to go to Atlantic Terminal. But because that one is supposed to go after our morning train, we have to still wait there while there is a train that can take us directly to Atlantic.
And the worst part of it, what happened to me was I went from tracks 2 and 3 to go to get the train to Brooklyn, the shuttle train. Nobody told me that there was a train coming on track 3 and leaving first, going to Atlantic Terminal, and that's what's causing all the problems. People are running back and forth because the people who work, the platform conductors, don't even know the schedules. There's no
When you
communication.
ask the people on the platform, all they tell us to do is complain. They're not
Yeah.
happy. We're not happy, and they're not happy. They're complaining all the time, just like we are, because it changed everything for them as well. But they don't listen. They don't even listen to their own employees.
They don't even listen at the board meeting either. All you're given is 2 minutes, and you don't even get a direct response from them. And look at what happened if you don't get chosen. If there are a certain number of people over whatever the ridiculous limit is, then you're shoved to a separate room. You have to record your comments, and there's no guarantee they're going to be watched by the board. And like I was asking them, I was fed up. I did not appreciate that, especially last month. You probably heard it. I arrived first. I was walking all the way back, and they said, "Oh, we agreed to the exact same." Well, do they actually watch it? They couldn't give me an answer on that.
And I felt bad because Riders Alliance was the back of the line. All 4 of them spoke. They've never even come to board committee meetings. And then it gets even better. They let all the elected speak. Meanwhile, people with disabilities who were complaining about the Atlantic Terminal branch, all of them were put in the side room, in the back room with Jack. And I went to Tim Minton and I said, Tim, what the hell is going on? Why can't he speak? You know what Tim Minton said to me? Charlton, when Jack Nirenberg is the president of Passengers United, he'll be able to speak first. No, what does that crap mean? Every speaker should be able to speak.
Yeah.
Look at NG Transit. One thing I love about NG Transit, you can call at the last minute on their 1-800 number, and you might have to wait a while, but you can speak live to the board, and the board acknowledges you, and they even respond. This board, they say it's 2 minutes, it's actually 1 minute and 50 seconds. They're trying to rush you off, And if they don't like what you're saying, suddenly your time goes by. That's why I'm warning New Yorkers. You know what? This is how they want to treat us. Do not give them congestion pricing. Do not give them a dime of money. Because guess what? Ubers and Lyfts are going to have a monopoly over this. Right now, I think Mark Gordon, Transportation Alternatives and Riders Alliance, is running the MTA. And some of their board members have been seen at Riders Alliance events. Because when I was there, I saw them running out of the event. One of the board members ran from me when I said good evening to her, and just ran. Like she was so scared when she saw me. Right.
True.
Yep.
True.
Everyone is scared of me at the MTA. But I'll say this. I've had employees in this building come up to me and tell me, Charlton, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Okay? Because I've put myself on the line. I remember the day when the bus operator was getting attacked with alcohol. I stood up, stepped in, and helped the bus driver because that's what I do. And I got alcohol in my eyes. Okay, EMS had to come and treat me. There's been situations where I've had to break up fist fights. We're not trained for this. And every day they're lying to people, telling people the subways are safe. Not them, but the chairman upstairs and MTA management. You know how many people have been murdered? How many employees have been sexually assaulted in the system? A station agent was trying to take a relief at the Rector Street station. A guy came and raped her. And it wasn't until an hour later that the cops came to help her. System is in crisis. The railroad is our lifeline. And the racism at the railroad, you have empty trains running to Grand Central. Empty trains. I told them,
Thank you. Say it again. Repeat
empty trains running to Grand Central. Before the schedules were even started operating, I begged the MTA. I said cross order Atlantic passes and Grand Central. Let the people use it because most of the people who use the railroad, who use the Atlantic weekly, most of them are coming into the city, right? But they're forced to take that option because they cannot afford to go to Penn Station or Grand Central. And that's another thing, disputes with the city ticket, which has been an issue. People are fighting over because people come on the train and they think, oh, I have a city ticket, I can go to Penn during rush hour or Grand Central. And the conductors will say no. And even with the Atlantic ticket, there's confusion with that. There's arguments breaking out. Listen, the conductors support us. They support our calls for what we're saying. It's the management in that building. And when you guys go to the board meeting today, you're going to see what goes on. The whole thing is just a con job. It's just a mess. So I'm just upset. And like I said, we're going to keep fighting. And one thing I want to say, the people who appoint the MTA board members are all elected officials. A lot of the public doesn't understand this. And once you start confronting Senator Leroy Comrie, who needs to go, the guy's a complete idiot, okay? He cares more about an expensive stadium in Elmont for UBS Arena. He sat down and catered to those white people for that new stadium. He didn't do a goddamn thing for our community. And I'm sorry to even say that word, but I'm so angry. That is how angry I am. And he dumped that arena in our neighborhood. You have to deal with the traffic, and we still have bad Q2 and Q110 service. Then, what was it? In 2008, we lost Nassau Intercounty Express. We lost Long Island Bus, which became Nassau Intercounty Express. Because of the 2008 budget cuts, Nassau County and Queens residents lost Long Island Bus. That was devastating, devastating. And I remember Yuki Endo spoke at those meetings. I spoke, Pine Power spoke, and when we all spoke, guess what? Tri-State Transportation Campaign and the other organizations, they didn't even want to come into Long Island or Queens. We were there. We were there. I went to all those meetings, and I remember. So all I'm going to say is, we're going to start putting pressure now on the elected officials. We're going to be holding individual protests in front of their offices. And look, here comes the press secretary. So this is the problem. The MTA, all they want to do is spin things, and you know they're trying to, you know.
How you doing,
Hi
sir?
guys,
Sir, how you doing?
help us with the shuttle trains. It's been 9
Come on,
weeks.
sir. I don't
9
know you,
weeks.
but please help us if you
It's
can.
great. So what's great about the shuttle train? Increased service. A lot more people.
No, you're
running
not.
with it.
No,
We
you're
actually
not.
have. I take it. I took
We're
it this morning.
running marathons every morning.
No, it's
People
great.
are getting hurt. People are getting hurt going home because we
A
don't
woman
have
fell down
direct
and had a
service.
miscarriage.
We increased the number of
He
trains,
takes-
and
yeah,
it's,
okay.
it's
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
Atlantic shuttle.
No,
Check it out. It's
no.
awesome.
We take the Atlantic shuttle
No, I
every
know.
day.
So I've been-
I
me
take it
too.
every day.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
know
So
what?
have
It's
you
got
been
no
taking-
worse. It's
Yes, a
awful.
woman
good.
fell
It's
down and had a
awful.
miscarriage. Pregnant
It's
woman.
You know, I almost fell twice trying to catch it.
Thank you.
Can we
She
get
fell down
direct
twice.
service, sir? I thank you for your time, but can we
he's
get
the
direct
press secretary.
service?
He's one of the press coalition with the MT. They have been lying. They have been lying to the media, trying to suppress local organizers. But it's okay because this is caught on video now. And like I said, everyone's going to watch this. Long Island Railroad riders cannot be here today because they're stuck on the shuttle train and they have to work. But I can tell you, we've gotten a lot of support from the community. And I've got an outpouring of support. And there are some elected officials, you know, I'm a Democrat, but there are some Democratic elected officials who are scared to speak out because they're scared they're going to get punished by Kathy Hochul and the coalition. And you know what I said to them? You guys didn't get anything before. Really? You only have more to gain. Look at Charles Barron. That brother, when he speaks up, people listen to him. Because Charles Barron doesn't mess around, you know? So I want to give, we didn't hear from you. Did you want to say something?
Oh, no, I spoke.
Oh,
I
you
was
did
speaking
speak?
just now. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So how do you feel with the chairman, and also the press secretary about how he, you know,
Well, you know, basically what he was just doing is sweeping us under the rug. He doesn't want to hear us, you know, and he's blowing smoke, up our asses,
That's
saying
right.
that he takes the train every day and it's gotten better. No, it hasn't. We have to leave earlier in order to get to work, so we're here at the crack of dawn every day because if we leave any later, we miss our trains. We're running across the stairs every day. It's a marathon every morning and every afternoon. We have no connecting trains. People are falling and getting hurt, and it's gotten better? Are you kidding me? Who is he lying to? He doesn't take the train like we do every day. He's out of his mind.
Absolutely.
He's out of his mind. He needs to sit at Jamaica Station and see what it's
Walk
really
a mile in
And-
my shoes.
right,
That's
and-
it. Walk a
Walk a
mile
mile.
in my shoes
And-
every day and see what I have to go through. I eventually stopped taking the LIRR.
Yeah,
As
me
of
too.
April 1st, I stopped because every morning she's with me. The legs, the pain, the extra set of 2 flights we have to go, running across. It became too much for me. We had 102
Yes.
heartbeat mile. I mean, we really was like, come on, is
and
it
it
worth
gets
it?
worse. So to respond to what you're saying, the LIRR did not do a proper environmental assessment, and we found out that they're actually in violation of the EDA laws because
they are.
the elevators
Yes.
are not owned by Long Island Railroad. They're owned by the Port Authority of New York and New
First of
Jersey.
all, they only have select elevators.
Right.
And they're only at one end of the station. Okay. They have what? 2 escalators. They're at the end of one station. So what happens to all of the people with mobility issues? People with mobility issues can't move. They're missing their trains because they cannot get up the stairs or down the stairs on time. And there are no connecting trains anymore. If you're not there, they leave.
That's right.
So people, they're not even taking into account the people with mobility issues or the people, you know, that belong to the ADA. They're not doing it. They don't care. Their bottom line is their pockets. That's all they care about.
You know what else they did? For the extension to tracks 11 and 12, they added an extra 2-step staircase
Yes, they
on the
did.
overpass.
Yes, they did.
And that's causing
That is
people to
correct.
trip and fall.
That is correct.
Because I almost tripped and fell on
How
that.
can that be ADA compliant?
It is not.
Oh.
It is not at all.
And overnight, it gets even better. So overnight, it gets even better. So overnight, overnight, what's happening overnight is the last train. people are getting on the last train out of Atlantic Terminal, the 142. And guess what? The Hempstead train just leaves. It's been happening. And this is another thing. The time connections. People who have to go to Oyster Bay, Montauk are missing their trains. So I want to have our bus vice president speak, David, because, and David, don't read us a speech, David. Just tell it from the heart, David. You can do this. Come on. Tell us how long you've been an organizer, what you've been doing, and tell us about how bad the bus redesigns are.
Bus redesigns do not expand service, they merely shift it around. It's gotta stop.
Go ahead, come on.
Very simple, MTA. Go back to the drawing board.
And how many community boards in Brooklyn have rejected the bus?
All of them. All 18 Brooklyn community boards rejected the plan. They say we're lying. No, we have it documented.
And how many meetings have you attended? Tell us.
I have attended meetings for the past 25 years.
No, the Brooklyn bus redesign.
The Brooklyn bus redesign, I've attended a couple of them, and all they just want to do is, they don't want to respond. They just want to take our feedback. It's like they don't care.
And look at the Queens bus redesign. Yeah. That's another thing. I went ballistic with them. We actually had more. We organized, Jack and I organized the first bus redesign workshop in College Point. We did the first one in Brooklyn. And we were able to reach out to people. We were able to reach out to people, and we were able to organize and get things done and help the community. What did the other organizations do? They didn't host anything. I've noticed Riders Alliance and Transportation Alternatives, when it comes to doing the hard work in the community, they don't want to do it. They just want the easy credit and the easy publicity. Like how they're lying about the Fair Fares program. They didn't do a damn thing with Fair Fares. All they did was go to city council hearings. David Jones from the Community Service Society, that MP board member, that brother did all the work. And he even said that to me. All of them did all the work. So, yeah, what we did.
Yeah, you know what else they did? They're not going to host meetings. They're not going to actually get the public involved and elevate the voices of those who really are affected. We're the ones who have actually been doing all that. We take a lot of pride in elevating the voices of disenfranchised communities. What have they done? They've gaslit those same communities by putting bus ads up, advertising the redesigns. Oh, your buses are so slow, but we're gonna fix it.
So
it does the exact opposite.
What happened in the Patterson houses?
Yeah, what happened in the Patterson houses in the Bronx, as opposed to when it came to the Bronx bus redesign, when that was implemented in June of last year, there was a bus stop on Morris Avenue and 143rd Street. This was in Mott Haven in the South Bronx. That stop got eliminated, but that was not part of the original plan. And thanks to Passengers United and the work of the neighborhood, they got that bus stop back 3 months later.
Yeah.
But that was ridiculously hard, and that was only one of a very small few bus stops that was actually restored.
And look at Co-op City. They screwed up all the buses in Co-op City. This was Riders Alliance. They went pushing for the buses. You know how many people are furious with them in Co-op City? So people are angry with them. And they're not doing that shit in Queens. I already told them. And they put up bus shelter ads in Queens supporting the bus redesign to suppress local organizers like us.
And gaslight everyone else.
So I told them, let them put those ads now for the final bus redesign. God help them.
Yeah,
Watch
so
what's gonna happen.
So I want to know what you think about like organizations like Riders Alliance and Transportation Alternative exploiting groups, exploiting certain classes, like that. Transportation Alternative has famous safe streets. I want to know, and I know the Riders Alliance, they do these disability organizations. What you feel about that? About the exploiting organizations to push their agenda?
It's reprehensible what they're doing. They're trying to take away the voices of those who really need that. These people who are really being affected and really screwed over by them have very little political power compared to them. I can nearly guarantee, this is just a prediction I have, is that Riders Alliance is not going to have to pay the congestion pricing when it comes out.
Right.
So, and they're pushing that. They know this is profitable for them, and they don't give a damn that this is screwing everyone else over in the process, especially those who are really struggling. They're not struggling. They can't empathize.
Oh, and I
but they're
did want to
coming
say
from-
one thing.
Yeah.
So when the Atlantic ticket came out, the weekly pass, I remember I was here at the committee meeting when it was being voted on in July of 2017, June. I was here, and guess what happened? A few months later, Riders Alliance had a reception with Transit Center in the Jamaica Arts Performing Center, and they had food and everything. And Lisa Daglin was there from the PCC, and we have it on video. Riders Alliance was taking credit for creating Atlantic Ticket. I was like, what? Oh, hell no. I almost jumped out of my seat. One of the MTA employees had to hold me down because she was like, listen, Charlton, don't even worry about it. We know you guys were there. This is the type of stuff that's going on. They're lying. When Betsy says they're grassroots, it's full of shit. They're not grassroots.
We're
Right.
grassroots.
And I have all their tax papers. Like I said, we're going to file complaints with the Attorney General's office, the Internal Revenue Service. We are going to, like I said, they've taken us to the bottom now. They've screwed us over. I let people pick on us. I purposely let them. I told Jack, I said, stand back. Let them come at us first. Let them attack us. Let them take us out. And then we'll go back after them. Bigger,
So-
harder, and stronger.
Yeah, so I
They'll
want
never mess with us ever again.
Yes, I want to know about the elected officials. Like, do you think? Yeah, I know. Yeah, we do have the elected officials. They're not being out here supporting you guys, or are they being scared to do it, or?
The problem is they have corporate influence, so they get money from their donors. Ultimately, they campaign. They say they're gonna. And this is a general trend with elected officials in this country.
What group are you
Is
guys
that
So,
we're Passengers
wait.
United.
So
you
hold
guys have
on,
a
sir,
card or
hold
website?
on. Hold on. So the elected officials are useless. The elected officials. Don't even get me started on them. But then again, Local 100, same thing with Local 100. Local 100 hasn't done a damn thing for its workers. Look at the station agents, what happened to them. Okay? They sold out the station agents. They sold out the employees. Employees are getting attacked. They're getting spit on. They're getting assaulted. I know bus operators who had their job broken, okay? Just for asking someone to pay the simple fare. If you don't have the fare, just say, I'm sorry, I can't afford the fare, and get on the bus. But people want to be disrespectful, attack the employees, and this is what's going on. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, and I have a video about to drop about the Vice President of Unions, wait till that comes out. You all are going to be shocked. When I asked him why they were eliminating station agents, he said to me, why do you care? That's what he said to me. That's coming from the Vice President of Stations at TWU Local 100.
He also
I have
called
him
him a
on
clown,
video.
too.
He called me a clown. So
Who's
you know
that?
what?
Who's that? Canelo Gomez?
Not Canilla, but Canilla's disgusting too. I'm angry with him. How can you beat up your own people in the subway system? He beat up Tremel Thompson, broke his leg. Who the hell does
He has
that?
to learn to walk again.
Right. And nobody in this damn building is talking about that because the MT executives support that because they don't want Tremel to get elected because they know Tremel cares about the workers. He cares about the riders. You know, and don't get me wrong, people have issues with Tremel because sometimes Tremel can come at you in the wrong way. But, you know, I've learned to deal with Tremel, but I will say this, that brother has my respect. Because he put his neck on the line for the workers. Where are the workers supporting him? No, the workers need to stand behind him and support him. That brother got assaulted trying to speak up about working conditions. So, you know, let's go inside, guys.
Yeah,
It's
let's
time. And this is it. I don't think.
raise hell, man. You told me.
Okay.
You give a piece of your mind.
Okay, nice meeting you.
I need information.
Oh, yeah, let me
about
give you my
something
card.
Oh, yeah, here, let me give you mine.
Because I am
Are you
so
coming
on
in?
board.
Yeah,
No,
no,
unfortunately, we don't. I used to a couple of hours of my time.
Thank
It was
you.
well worth it.
And by the way,
The whole day.
this will be on 1010 Wins. Listen to 1010 Wins. They interviewed me this morning about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to air
You
it.
don't have to tap into our
Yeah.
resources.
The petition is on our website for the Atlantic Shuttle. As soon as you go on our website, you'll see the petitions.
What's the
It's right
Atlantic
on the
shuttle?
homepage.
Okay.
What's the Atlantic
There's
shuttle?
also another
Train that
so
used to
much
go
for
from
coming.
Atlantic
We'll
all the
see
way
you
to
again.
Jamaica.
All
Yeah.
right.
It's not over.
On change.org,
Yes. Yeah.
That's the one I signed. That's the one I
That one is like
signed.
over
Right, that's the one.
Over 1,000.
That one has over 1,000 signatures.
That might be a different petition, but go to our website.
Oh, I
and look
will.
for the petition.
I will.
Check it out. Yeah, and we're on Facebook, YouTube. Please call us, follow us, okay? And by the way, we filed a complaint with the Federal Transit Administration. They're going to call us for a regional meeting. So we filed a civil rights.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll
text me
give
your
you-
number. All right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
all right.
God bless you guys. Okay, be safe. All right. Okay.
Golly, sure.